very good morning to you.
Here are
Welcome
some of the
to Early
best
Breakfast here
off-camera
on
anecdotes
talkSPORT.
from
Shebahn
the Ryder
Aherne.
Cup.
Lots to get into
Number
from
one,
Europe
Tigers'
last night.
Lou Roll.
If
The
we
protagonist,
have to, we will
Lee
talk
Westwood's
about
former
Celtic,
caddy, Billy
but we might
Foster,
not have
said
time.
in a toilet cubicle
Back from our
at
holiday
the
in
Belfry.
Brazil, looking
As he
so
went to
tanned, a
relieve
kind
his
of
first
hater.
morning
With all of your
nerves,
sports
Foster
news, good
noticed
morning, I'm
only
Amelia
one
Bertrand.
of the
Thank you,
two
Shebahn. A
pupils
very good
had Lou
morning.
Roll.
It was the
And while
ultimate
he
new
was
manager
seated,
bounce for
in
Nottingham
came
Forest
a
last night, who
tiger
kick-started
into
the
empty
Vita
cubicle,
Pereira's era
and he
in
realised
style.
his mistake
A rampant
all too
3-0
late.
win over
So Foster
Fenerbahce
took
gives
some
them 1
paper,
foot
reached
in
under
the
the
Europa
cubicle
League
with
last
a rescue
16.
offering,
Pereira knows it
and
was
the
always
tiger
going to be a
went to
tough
take it.
test at
Foster
his
uttered
old
the
stomping
words,
ground.
Not
Europe
easy to come here
won up.
and to score 3
As it
goals
happened,
and
Europe
not
did
concede
go on to
goal.
win.
But
Fast forward
next
10
game
years
it
to
will
the
be a
miraculous
different game.
Medina when,
and
after
we
a
need to be
grueling
consistent to
Saturday,
face
Rory
this team.
McIlroy
Meanwhile,
overslept
Celtic
on
have
the
given
Sunday
themselves a
and was in
huge
danger
mountain
of
to
missing
climb
his
to make
tee
it into
time.
the knockout
Thankfully
stages.
for
They
him,
lost
the person
4-1 to
booking
Stuttgart
Transport
in Martin
was
O'Neill's
Erica Stoll.
1000th game
She sorted
as
him
a
a police
manager.
escort
But
to
the game
course.
started with
3
fans
years
throwing
later,
tennis balls
McIlroy
onto the
proposed
pitch in
Paris.
protest over the
The
board.
next story is
An over
told by
reckons the
Scottish
protesters made it
legend
easy
Sam
for the
Torrance about
visitors,
the
adding
great
Celtic
Seve,
Park
who
used to
apparently
be an
despised
intimidating
the Americans
atmosphere.
mainly
I've
because of
been
a
the manager
diminutive
here at this
US
football club
reporter
when
who
teams
kept
like
calling him
Juventus
Steve.
were scared stiff coming. Scared stiff. There was like a cause, embraced players, managers, everything.
Well,
Torrance
there was
also
similar
tells of how
discontent from
Seve
Paris
regularly gave
fans as
coaching
Oliver
clinics to
Glasner
his
faced
European
sacks in the
teammates.
morning
But a
chance
week
after
later,
their
the
1-1
Italian
draw
Open, when the
with
same
Bosnian side
players asked for
Shrinsky.
advice,
Now from the
Seve
brink
would
of
tell them
elimination to the edge of
and see you
glory,
next
Team
year.
GB have been
Having
guaranteed
started
at
with a
least
Billy
silver
Foster
in the
story,
men's
let's
curling
finish
as
with
they
one
sealed
from
an
the 12th
unlikely
tee
turnaround
at
by
Oakland
beating
Hills in
favourites
2004.
Switzerland.
It
Bruce
was Jimenez
Morat's
and
curling
Garcia
team will
against
play
Western
Canada
Clark
in
in
the
a
final
practice
for
round.
Team GB's
And as they
4th
finished,
medal.
Foster
And Kelly
decided to jump in
Hodgkinson
the buggy
smashed the
and
indoor
speed away
800-metre
with all their
world
clubs,
record in
only to lose control entirely
54.87
and tumble
seconds. She
onto
took
the
almost a
course
second
and
off
see
the
it
record
careering
that was
towards
set
the
on the day she was
spectators.
born
Thankfully,
nearly
the Red
24
Sea
years ago.
parted
Get
and the
more at
buggy smashed
talksport.com.
into a tree with viewers and clubs still intact.
What up? Good morning. Welcome along to Friday early breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn with you till 6, and we're building up to Alan Brazil with you at 6 o'clock this morning alongside the Arsenal Invincible Ray Parlour. Lots to discuss with the guys, including for Alan what happened with Celtic last night. Absolute shockeroonie. And of course we're looking ahead to the North London derby this weekend, and they'll get into the fallout from last night's football at 10 o'clock. We've got Sam Matterface, Alex Croup and Gaggy Ooh, Gabby Agbon Lahore. I'm going to stick with that will stay. Coming up for you over the next hour, let's get into that big surprise at Celtic Park. We're beaten by Stuttgart last night, 4-1 in the end. We've got the new Forest manager, Vita Pereira, as he made a perfect start to life at the City Ground. They got a win at Fenerbahce. And we're also going to hear from Palace manager Oliver Glasner after the Eagles were held to a 1-1 draw in the Conference League. Lots of unhappy Palace fans this morning. That number, if you'd like to have your say on the early breakfast show, 03717 22 3344. 81089 if you would like to send a text message. It's the early breakfast on talkSPORT. Good morning. So how's it going? I feel like I haven't been here in absolutely ages. Everyone's struggling in the office this morning. It's tough, isn't it? 5 o'clock on a Friday. You feel like you've been on it. You feel like you've been on a session for days and your alarm goes off at 3 and you've not. You've actually not been doing anything. It's been that chilled. So we're with you this morning with all of the fallout from what's happening last night. Looking at the back pages of the papers for you. There's all focus on Mikel Arteta. TikTok, Mick mocked. Very good. Wolves tease Arteta's boys over the title dip. Apparently Wolves have been at it on social media, making fun of Arsenal for apparently throwing away the title. Have they? I mean, it's still a wee bit early to say that, but my God, they're starting to panic, aren't they? Back page of the Times. Isak eyes return next month. Slot hopeful that Liverpool will see the best of £125 million striker before the end of a difficult first season at Liverpool. That's the back page of the Times this morning. Also, this leaked Newcastle kit is in the papers as well. Return of the barcodes, a twist of the famous black and white stripes of what the Newcastle kit might look like next season. And then just looking at the Telegraph as well, Amelia mentioned it there in the news. Queen Keeley, the fast at Hodgkinson breaks world indoor record by a second. That's absolutely incredible. Amelia going to be here with us a little bit later on, going through all of the pages of today's papers. But let's get into a great night of European football across the talkSPORT network. Here's how it all sounded for you on talkSPORT.
Jesus has beaten the offside trap. He cuts it back for Morgan Gibbs-White, who scores from 12 yards out. And the captain, Morgan Gibbs-White, has put the gloss on a glory night in Europe for Nottingham Forest. And amid all the chaos at the City ground and the doom and gloom, seeing Vitor Pereira appointed as their fourth manager of the season, it is a memorable European night in Istanbul.
Zrinski won, Crystal Palace won, all to play for in South East London next Thursday.
Stuttgart come forward against Jorgen Thomas in the area, makes it 4. That wraps it up for Stuttgart, and Martin O'Neill's 1,000th game in professional management ends in a heavy defeat at home. His first defeat since his return as interim manager, and Stuttgart have completely dominated the Scottish champions and lead by 4 goals to 1.
So I did my usual, got in the car this morning and stuck on the talkSPORT app to listen back to Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy last night in the sports bar, and I figured it was going to be, has anyone seen Celtic? It wasn't. They were just still going for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal dropping points against Wolves. But the big story of the night last night was Celtic being beat at home 4-1 by Stuttgart. Absolutely smashed to bits. They scored another goal that was ruled offside as well, which means we've got a mountain to climb to go away next week to Germany and try and get our first ever win in Germany. Such a poor performance. And also the game was stopped 15 seconds in with the fan protests, tennis balls being launched on at Celtic Park, which caused a bit of an issue for everybody, of course. And the manager, Martin O'Neill, who was in charge for his 1,000th time in a game, was left fuming with what happened last night.
Anybody who thinks that's a good idea needs their heads examining. Really, got to say it really is. You can imagine what I've been a manager here at this football club when teams like Juventus were scared stiff coming, scared stiff. There was a cause that embraced players, managers, and crowd and everything, the whole thing, and that there is. Can you imagine being a Stuttgart player now, thinking coming on, you're on 5 or 6 minutes, you're worried about the crowd. The atmosphere to begin with was fantastic, really, and then suddenly that happens. One, it disrupts the game for a start, obviously, and secondly, if I'm a Stuttgart player, I'm thinking, don't feel too bad here. Don't feel too bad, instead of being intimidated by the situation and things like this here. It's not.
Yeah, he's dead right. I mean, it just did not help anything last night because the atmosphere was electric as usual at Parkhead on European nights, and then it all starts and tennis balls going to the pitch. I completely agree with Martin. I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's not what I get it. The board, it's been frustrating. It has been very, very frustrating. It's been an awful season, but then they're about to play against Stuttgart and you should be behind them, and it's going to throw the guys. It's going to throw everyone. It gives them that advantage, and sure enough it did. It's just so poor. But listen, the performance itself was absolutely shocking. Kasper Schmeichel under massive pressure this morning. I mean, I can't imagine he's looking on social media to get any sort of positive reaction after last night's performance, but a really poor display from him. He's 39 now. I was listening to David Tannard, our Scotland correspondent, saying that perhaps he's going to be dropped this weekend against Hibs. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Martin O'Neill's got a call to make there. It's just bad, all round bad stuff. The game, of course, was live on talkSPORT 2. Co-commentated and former Scotland striker Chris Iwelumo didn't hold back with his criticism of Celtic.
You called it in commentary, Stuttgart, they could smell blood. Even at 3-1, they were high energy, high pressure, going for that fourth goal. And like you say, it was a wonderful goal, but defensively Celtic have been nowhere near the levels that they've set this season. Concede far too many opportunities, and that attacking third as well, they've got to be more clinical. You know, there's good quality coming into the box, that movement get across the face of the defender, get that final touch. Can you steer it forward? I just think it's not been good enough. The tie, of course, it isn't over until it's over, but that's a big ask going there and trying to get something at Stuttgart.
Yeah, I don't see us being able to get anything at Stuttgart. By the way, Stuttgart are a very good team, fourth in the Bundesliga, doing bits today. In fact, O'Neill last night said in the press conference, he spoke about the squad depth and the money being spent, and how you get Premier League players now for 80 million and they can't get on the pitch. Celtic and Scottish football are nowhere near able to buy those players or have those funds, nowhere near it. And for anyone who says that's an excuse, it's not. It's not an excuse. It's pure fact. We cannot compete with teams when you look at Stuttgart's squad valued around 290 million and Celtic's squad 110 million. We're right to be beat. It's the same by Roma. I don't know why we're acting like we should be beating these teams. We're not investing enough. 03717223344 is the number. 8 to 1089 if you want to get in touch. I can already see a Rangers fan calling in this morning. I imagine that's to laugh in my face. Good luck getting on, pal. Vitor Pereira off the mark as the fourth manager of the season for Forest. A big win for him last night. They beat Fenerbahce by 3-0. It puts them on course for a place in the last 16 of the Europa League ahead of next week's home leg against the Turkish side. But Pereira does not want to take any credit.
It was a win by the players and the supporters, no by the manager, because the manager has had just 3 days to prepare the match. They have the quality.
Morgan Gibbs-White saying after the game that they have a clear identity now. There was rumours that several of the players at Forest weren't happy with Sean Dyche's tactical style. Clear identity for Forest, and away last night, that is a decent performance from them. Palace fans, quite the opposite actually. They were chanting, "We want Glasner out." That was a 1-1 draw at Zrinski. Crystal Palace head back to Selhurst Park for the second leg of the Conference League with it all level at 1-1. Throughout the night, Palace end were heard singing "Sacked in the Morning" to Oliver Glasner. Despite this, Glasner thanked the travelling fans for the support.
Oh yes, so hopefully they are at home on Sunday. So thank you very much for your support and great support from the stands and hope they enjoyed the traveling. And now it's Wolves and Monster at home, and there of course it's time to get more wins, not just the one at Brighton. And this is what we are aiming.
Sounds a smidge sarcastic there, Oliver. Yes, thank you for your support. Even looking at the pitch last night in the stadium they were at, looked like they were doing five-a-sides. Anyway, Palace fans, is he getting sacked this morning? 03717223344. That's 1-1 and 15 now for Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace. Does change have to happen there? Coming up this weekend, of course, it's the North London Derby. We've got the Steel City Derby as well, both coming up on Sunday. And then, of course, Blackburn versus Preston is on talkSPORT 2 tonight. North London Derby is on Sunday. Looking forward to that one. What is the best derby in English football? You can have your say on that this morning. 8 10 89. You're listening to the Early Breakfast Show here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn. It's good to be with you. Coming up next, we'll get into our new Friday feature, Knowing Me, Knowing You, and we'll get into today's back pages. Good morning.
John Terry took to his own Instagram account to respond today. Let's hear what JT had to say.
Guys, this is a debate that everyone's entitled to their opinion to, But Pens, when you're on the radio and you're giving your opinion, you have to get the stats right. There's only one person that's got the most goals as a defender in Premier League history, and that's me. I also have the most clean sheets in Premier League history. And also, if you're comparing myself and Virgil, then I have more trophies than him as well. Also, you brought up a really good point. At the age of 34, 2014-15, I played every single minute of every game for Chelsea, winning the league in 2014-15 when Mourinho was our manager. So guys, this is over to you. I love the debate. I love being amongst it. I'm really proud of what I've done in the Premier League, but this is clearly over to you guys to settle the debate, but I'm just happy to be in and amongst it.
I mean, if you saw that, you'd see that. I mean, he could reply to that from his lounge.
Yeah.
Decided to reply to that. In his
Hello, good morning. It's the early breakfast show here on talkSPORT with me, Shebahn. Ray Parlour, if he's doing as usual, will be in the car right now, heading to Alan's gaff to park his car and then head in the back of his taxi. Morning, Ray. If you're listening, he's with you at 6 o'clock this morning alongside Alan Brazil. The guys will be here on talkSPORT Breakfast. A few things you need to know this morning. Keely Hodgkinson, the Queen, has broken the long-standing women's indoor 800-metre world record set by Slovenia's Jolanda Black on the day the Briton was born almost 24 years ago. How weird's that? Manchester United made it 3 English teams in the Women's Champions League quarter-finals thanks to their 5-0 aggregate victory over Atletico Madrid. Fair play. And they sealed a meeting with the German giants Bayern Munich with a 2-0 win in last night's playoff at second leg. By the way, Bayern women look so good. They look so good. I've been at a couple of those games in the Champions League working, and they've been excellent. Anyway, Kasper Schmeichel's every touch was booed by a section of Celtic fans in the aftermath of conceding 2 soft goals last night. Literally everything that came to him, like directly to him, he couldn't save. It was a really, really poor performance from Schmeichel. Celtic now have it all to do next week in Germany after they were beaten 4-1 by Stuttgart in the Europa League. Henry, producer Henry, are you keep putting on the Celtic losing stuff to annoy me? Yeah. He is. Martin O'Neill explained why Celtic seemed to struggle so much in Europe recently.
In time, Celtic will be able to compete deep into European competitions. It's just that it's not there at this minute. That's fine. And when I asked the question, why did I think this here? That the money in the game is major. You're talking about Premier League teams or Bundesliga sides. Particularly Premier League teams paying £80 million for players don't even get into the team. So that's what you're competing against. It's a difficult one here at this minute, but that's for another day. That's another conversation.
He's dead right though to mention it. We cannot compete. You know, don't expect us to beat Stuttgart when our squad's 110 million and theirs is 290 million. It's just another part of it, to be fair. I was actually with Martin O'Neill and some of the Celtic squad last week at a charity night for the Celtic FC Foundation. And it's interesting, Martin O'Neill's 73 and he speaks about the stress of being in that job and how he doesn't deal with the stress. It's just stress and stress every single day. And that pressure of wanting to make fans happy and people happy. And at the same time, he absolutely loves it. So I'm hopeful that it can turn around this weekend against Hibs. Perhaps we'll see Schmeichel on the bench. Massive title race up in Scotland as well. I think we've got to now go full focus on that. Don't forget, you can watch us now on your smart TV if you're at home this morning and want to turn us on. We're on Fire TV, Apple, Chromecast, Android, Google TV, Samsung. You can stick us on there and on Prime Video. If not, you can watch along on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. Come and join us. It's time now for this.
Knowing me, knowing you. There is nothing we can do. Knowing me, knowing you.
Yeah, time a little bit of knowing me, knowing you. We get to know more about our special guest this week. And I actually think we know a lot about this guest because he loves a blether. But he's here in the week, of course. He acts, he sings, he makes people laugh. Today, we're hearing more about our very own Charlie Baker. And as usual, we started by asking him for his Uber rating.
It's 4.35, which I'm furious about. I've never actually seen it. What have I done wrong? I don't like talking, I will say that. No matter what it's like, I give 5 stars because I think my life's too short not to just give the guy 5 stars. If I get there and I'm alive, then I think, well, he's sort of done his job. So what have I done wrong? I'm very nice to people, you know. Now I sound a bit edgy. I quite like it. I did slash a guy's tyres when I got out of the car. That's not true.
At least you're not worried about it, Charlie. Jeez. By the way, I'm just looking at the Uber League table from our previous guest. Simon Jordan's got 5 stars. Did we check this? Did we actually see his vote? We did. Well, fair play, Simon. He must tip well. Strikes me as a good tipper. Ali McCoy's up there for 4.87. That doesn't surprise me. And hot in at 3rd place. Not yours truly. Yeah. See, if there was an Uber when I was like going out when I was younger, I'd be like a 0. I was a disgrace in the back of a taxi. Next question. Charlie Baker, which sporting clip makes you most emotional when you watch it back?
For bad reasons, Torquay United versus Hartlepool United, which Jeff Stelling will say I need to let go. I need to take the frozen amendment and let it go. In the playoff final, Bristol City, and our goalkeeper scores with the last touch of the game to take it to penalties.
Into the box it goes, and the keeper's won it! Oh my word! This is scarcely believable! I can't believe what I'm seeing! Comalan has equalised right at the end!
It is the most incredible clip. And as he scores, the camera, we're the gulls, right? And as he scores and runs away, some gulls fly by the camera, and it's like, we're back in the league, we're going to get back in the league, it's all going to be great again. Bearing in mind at this point we had thrown away a 10-point lead, but our goalkeeper scores. After that, I won't talk about it.
Buse has to score, or Hartlepool are going up. Buse. Oh, he's kept it out! Pools are promoted!
I'm emotional because I know the promise of getting it back in the league was there, and it just didn't happen. We're now in the National League South.
Oh, Charlie Baker there. He's some man for one man. That's him getting emotional over the sporting moment that really makes him think and think back to a time. Let's go for a music question now. Who headlines his Dream Festival, both the alternative stage and the main stage?
My main stage headliner, I've always wanted to see her. I love Joni Mitchell. I've loved Joni Mitchell my whole life. Joni does very, very few concerts. She got quite poorly about 10, 15 years ago. She started doing gigs again with Brandy Carlisle and a group of other people, and she can still do it. I love Joni Mitchell.
Don't give yourself away. I've looked at love from both sides now, from give and take, and still somehow it's love's illusions. I recall, I really don't know love.
I've seen everyone else I've wanted to see, to be honest. I've never seen McCartney. I could go and see McCartney. But Joni Mitchell on the main stage and my son's band, Cheap Suits, on the alternative stage, doing bits and pieces, releasing an EP, really, really good indie rock, and nothing makes me prouder than watching him play drums with Cheap Suits.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know his son was in a band, actually. Charlie Baker there. His son's band's Cheap Suits, if you want to go Spotify that. Good stuff. Actually, a really, really nice listen to Charlie there. Do you know, that's the thing. He talked about Joni Mitchell, and I always hear wonderful things about Joni Mitchell. I'm not going to lie and say I know a lot of her stuff. I don't, but anytime you hear about Joni Mitchell, it just makes me think of Love Actually. You know, where Alan Rickman gives her the CD and she thinks it's the necklace, and she opens up and it's the Joni Mitchell album. Otherwise, that's the only reason I would kind of really know Joni Mitchell. I don't know a lot of her songs, but hearing that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go and have a listen. All the tunes, by the way, on Virgin Radio Breakfast. You've got the main man, Chris Evans, back with you later on this morning from 6:30. You can easily swipe across there on the talkSPORT app if you don't want to hear about Celtic or Palace or anything like that, or the North London Derby or Arsenal dropping points. Get some tunes over in Virgin Radio Breakfast from 6:30. And Charlie Baker is also on Virgin Radio too.
You can find me on Virgin Radio 2 till 6, Game On a weekend. All the goals they go in. You'll never miss a goal. You'll never miss a beat. We play great records and we tell you when people have scored. And we bring in some talkSPORT commentary and we have some stupid Baker-style fun.
Oh, Charlie, I absolutely love it. We thank you very, very much. That's all from me knowing you this week.
Knowing me, knowing you. There is nothing we can do. Knowing me, knowing you.
All back for you next Friday. We're asking about the best derbies in English football. Dave, the Arsenal fan, North London derby, biggest and best, no question. Perry Grove saying this could be the most crucial one coming up this weekend. Also, anonymous text here. Results like last night show why Celtic wouldn't last in the Premier League. Put your name on it in future. Next time we actually would, because I imagine we would have more investment in the Premier League. Okay, so that doesn't make any sense. We're not in the Premier League, we're in Scottish football, we don't have the budgets. Amelia's here.
Hello, I'm here.
How was your holiday?
It was amazing.
How was Carnival?
Oh, Carnival was fabulous.
Carnival.
They know how to party out there in Brazil.
Well,
I don't think the UK
breaking
can hack
news. Did you do any of the favela tours and stuff?
We didn't do the favela tours, no. I mean, I was there with my parents and I don't think they were really interested. They wanted to do the nice beaches in the morning and then blockers in the evening.
Lovely. We've got a minute to look at today's back pages. What are we doing?
Let's do two stories for you. Firstly, should we start with AJ? And we think that he could be a comeback in July. Obviously, we know that he was injured in that terrible car crash in Nigeria where two of his friends were killed. And Eddie Hearn kind of said, look, we're just giving him time to sort of rest and recover. He will take his time. Obviously, we were all anticipating that he might be able to take on Fury this year. But Eddie Hearn has now said that the plan was for him to fight in March and then see how we get on. But obviously, given what happened, we're now thinking it could be around end of July. So we could see Fury take on AJ later this year, but it all depends on who his next fighter is really in July. And I thought we'd also talk about the new Newcastle kit.
Yes, it's doing the rounds this morning. So it was leaked.
It was leaked,
by accident.
Yes. So they want to kind of have a big traditional departure, a big significant departure from the traditional kits in their new sort of collaboration with Adidas for next year. But it just kind of looks a bit more like a barcode, really. They've got one significant black stripe down the middle of it. But what do you think of it?
I like it. To be honest. I was watching Newcastle the other night and they're wearing the green and it doesn't, for me, it doesn't feel right.
No.
It doesn't look quite like Newcastle. I'm into this. I think it's quite a good look.
A Newcastle super fan in the office, Ollie Klink, is not a fan.
Okay.
He does not like it at all.
Well, if Ollie has spoken, then on my head be it. No, I think it's actually quite a nice top. To be honest, it does look like
it's not the worst, I don't think. Yeah.
But it's more Newcastle than the green.
Yes.
I would say.
Oh, yeah.
That's doing the rounds this morning all over social media. Go and check it out, Newcastle fans. Let us know your thoughts. 81089. Amelia, back with us a little bit later on. Thank you very much. You're listening to the Early Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we're building up to the huge North London derby this weekend.
This season we've got the squad, but I'm not quite sure the quality of the front line is up to it. I don't rate Gyökeres. He's come in supposedly as the goal scorer we were hoping that we needed to get us over the line. He's not been that person. We signed Eze, who actually was on the verge of going to Tottenham. And with all due respect to Eze, he's talented, but he's more of a Tottenham player because he's an in-and-out player. He doesn't do it week in, week out. He's a streak-type player. He's not an Arsenal player. Madueke, he's a good understudy maybe for Saka, but he's not a first-teamer. He's great with all the tricks, but his final ball is not good enough. So I think that the problem is our front line. Is something not quite right with the front line? insofar as we're not effective enough. We haven't got that killer instinct to go out and smash teams. Last night, you're 2-0 up, go out and smash them, put them to rest, and we haven't done that.
Well,
you cannot let Leeds...
Keith, I know you know your stuff. Who's your top goal scorer this season?
Good question, actually. I believe... I think it probably is Gyökeres, I think.
Gyökeres.
But that's irrelevant,
and he's coming in
really,
for it this morning.
Sorry?
He's coming in for it this morning.
Look, we got him thinking... We got a striker there who's got something like 98 goals in 100 appearances.
The kitman. One of the most important cogs in a football club's machine. But it's not just laundry and hanging up shirts in dressing rooms. Oh no. It's hours of dedication and a real love of the game. Every club does it slightly differently, but ultimately the kitman's the guy washing the training gear, repairing holes, cleaning boots, and that's before they even think about the match day. The day before a home game, a kitman will already be at the stadium making sure the kit is ready to be laid out, and if anything needs doing in terms of printing, stitching, cleaning, it gets done. On the day, the kitmen are almost the first ones there in the morning. They're unloading kit from the training ground, medical bags, anything else a player or a coach may need between their arrival and full time. Once things are in full swing, they actually help with the warm-up too. When the whistle goes and the match kicks off, it's the one time a kitman can put his feet up. At full time, if they're at home, it's easy. All the kit goes in the washing machines, dries and is ready for use within the next 24 hours. Away from home, it's a different story though. If you're a kitman for Spurs, for example, you can't exactly use the machines at St James's Park. So it's back into the van, or onto the chartered flight, back to the training ground, wash everything there, and be ready to go again for the next game. Some might have to go to Europe a day later, so the pressure is definitely on. Working for a football club might look glamorous on the face of it, but we salute those who dedicate their lives to scraping mud off boots and washing a millionaire's underpants.
Good morning to you. Welcome along to the weekend. Early breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn. You've got Alan Brazil back with you at 6 o'clock this morning on talkSPORT Breakfast, alongside his best friend, Arsenal Invincible, Ray Parlour. Some of your headlines, if you have just joined us: Great Britain are guaranteed to add to their 3 gold medals at the Winter Olympics in Italy. The men's curlers will take home at least silver after reaching tomorrow's final with an 8-5 victory over the Swiss. Canada will be their title challengers for gold. Leicester City have also appealed against the decision to deduct them 6 points for breaching English Football League financial rules. We'll keep you posted on that when we hear more about it here on talkSPORT. And also following the shocking scenes in Portugal on Tuesday involving Vinicius Jr., Chelsea head coach Liam Rosenior says anyone found guilty of racist behaviour in football shouldn't be in the game.
It's upsetting. It's upsetting when anyone and there's context that needs to be had in terms of this situation. Always there has to be context to it. What I will say, you can see any form of racism in society, let alone football, is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I cannot speak about an incident where an investigation is ongoing. I won't speak about that incident. What I would say is when you see a player upset, how Vinicius Jr. was upset, normally Normally they're upset for a reason. I've been racially abused myself. I know people have been racially abused. And what people have to understand is when you are judged for something that you should be proud of, it is the worst feeling you can ever possibly imagine.
Really, really hard-hitting stuff there from Liam Rosenior in that press conference yesterday, speaking from the heart and speaking some truths as well, saying that those who have exhibited racist behaviour shouldn't be in the game. Very powerful message from Liam Rosenior yesterday. There's more on our website. Jump onto talksport.com if you want some more on that. Top story this morning. Let's talk about Celtic again, shall we? Just for my sins. Hammered by Stuttgart at Parkhead. That is our top story. The interim manager, Martin O'Neill, admits it's unlikely they'll go any further in the Europa League after the 4-1 loss last night. Just to give you full context, they scored another goal, but it was offside. Stuttgart will need a big turnaround in Germany next week. Don't think we've ever won in Germany. So it's going to be pretty tough. O'Neill says they're unable to go head-to-head with well-funded clubs, some from Europe's top leagues at the moment. And yeah, there's some of you getting in touch in the text this morning saying this settles the argument that Celtic wouldn't be able to do it in the Premier League. No, this current Celtic side wouldn't be able to do it in the Premier League. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work that out. But what we do see is the difference in squads and the money that's spent. You know, Wolves are going down there, 310 million. Celtic's squad last night's 110 million. Wolves is 310 million in the Premier League. So it's just a completely different beast altogether. But I actually just watched a clip there of Stilian Petrov at Parkhead last night saying when you get fan protests and it all spills out onto the pitch, it's just going to affect the players. And I feel it really, really did last night. You know, European nights at Parkhead are a special place to be. I haven't been to one in a long, long time. But just watching them get battered like that and some of the fans not be on side with the players, instead they're venting the frustration at the board, but they're taking it out and affecting the performances on the night. It's just it's a recipe for disaster. Coming up for you this weekend, it's the North at London derby. Perry Grove saying maybe it's going to be the biggest of all time. Tottenham take on Arsenal.
It is one of English football's iconic fixtures.
And Lennon has equalised.
Magical game. Everybody knows.
Yeah, Walcott through the centre. He's going to beat the goalkeeper for a second time. Is he? Yes, he is. 5 goals they've scored after going 2-0 down.
Probably the nicest game of the season to watch and to play.
It's Arsenal 4, Tottenham 1. Eberici Eze. He could have signed for Spurs, remember, but he's a hat-trick hero for Arsenal.
Spurs have confirmed the appointment of Igor Tudor.
If they need someone to shake up the place and get everyone going, then he's definitely the right person for it.
This is the North London derby.
Arsenal have dropped 2 points in the title race.
These 2 points dropped tonight will really hurt. And listen, Tottenham next, isn't it?
Anything that we say now is not useful, is we have to do it on the pitch.
We want to play this game in a way that our fans will like, give everything what we have.
What we're about to dare us to do, don't go there and wave the white flag. You have to fight.
Actually, can't wait for this. I cannot wait for this. It has been dubbed by Perry Groves as maybe the biggest North London derby of all time. In the history possibly of the Premier League. It's fascinating because of the opposite ends that the clubs are at. You know, Arsenal obviously feeling the heat, dropping points against Wolves, still at the top of the table. You can't take that away from them. Are they now showing that they might B-word it? Or is it too soon to say that? The amount of Arsenal fans, I mean, my cabbie Tom this morning, Arsenal Tom I call him, he just had he's the worst week of his life. And I'm not joking, anytime they drop points, he listens to sad songs. Today I had on Bette Midler, The Wind Beneath My Wings, as I was getting out the car. I said, Tom, it's got to stop. Like, your algorithm now knows that you're negative about Arsenal and it's giving you sad songs. You're acting like someone's died here, Tom. You drop points against Wolves. Oh, he's not going to be happy with that, but he does. He listens to sad music the whole time. Spurs, however, in comes Igor Tudor, the new guy, and they're looking for points because at the moment they're flirting a wee bit with relegation, aren't they? The boys in the sports bar last night, they're just at the absolute wind-up. Listen to this.
North London forever, mate. It's so...
You're from Woolwich.
Mate, create like an anthem. You're trying to create your own anthem. You can't. Either it's there or it's not.
No, but...
Come on.
No,
mate.
but, okay.
No, I'm not having it, mate. It's
No?
so plastic. It is. I mean, wherever you think of Chelsea, right? Blue is the colour. It was knocking around since the 60s, 70s, right?
Okay.
North London forever.
Okay, but Chelsea started
Bore
when?
off.
When were Chelsea born?
1905.
Okay, so their anthem started in the 60s, right?
Well, that was it.
Why
Blues the
can't
Cup.
Arsenal start an anthem?
Because
why can't any club start an anthem now?
Okay, the fact you've got to start an anthem now, where football is what it is now, how we've moved through the ages and the times, and football back then, it was a totally different game, right? You've got to create your own anthem. Drop me out of that, mate. Come on. No, I'm not having it. Not having it at all. No.
By the way, I think he's miles off it there. Like, North London forever gets right in your head. Anytime I'm at the Arsenal women's games at the Emirates, the next days I'm like, North London, shut up. It's a proper earworm. It gets in your head. I think it has clocked on. Everybody loves it. Arsenal fans absolutely love that. Let's hear from Igor Tudor, the new Spurs manager. It's his first game in charge this weekend. It won't get any harder than an Arsenal game in a derby. Tudor spoke in the week about the challenge that he faces.
First priority is to give everything the team needs in these moments. The team need, I believe, first of all, to get some confidence, to get some courage, but also in the same way the concrete things in the pitch. Of course, I'm coming here knowing that situation is not easy. There's no time to find excuses. What I said from the first day here, each of us, each of players need to give something more, something extra, because the position of the club in this moment is not that anybody can accept. Every fans of Tottenham cannot accept the situation. We are aware of that, but it's not enough to just be aware of that.
Oh, Igor Tudor's got a lovely voice, hasn't he? What a lovely deep voice he's got. Mickey van de Ven, defender in the papers today, saying that it's clear what he wants from them. He's been honest. He's really been on to us. He's straight into it, straight talking as well. You wonder, is it possible Spurs in their position in the table, can they do a job over Arsenal, stop them in the title race, and also get themselves back on track? Because at the moment it's an absolute shambles, Spurs, and the state of their situation just now. Thank you very much for all your messages this morning. 81089 is the number. We've been talking about the best derby in English football. Both Merseyside derby and Liverpool versus United is better than the North London derby. Yeah, I kind of agree. And just on the Celtic protest, Stephen, the Dundee fan O'Neill crying about money is a joke. They've got a squad that is worth more than the whole Scottish League. Yeah, we have a good squad in Scotland, to be fair. We haven't been good enough this week, but we can't compete with Stuttgart. We can't. I don't want to do an Ennio Luco maths shambles here, but they've spent a lot more than us, okay? What's 290 take away 110? Amelia! Hi. What is 290 take away 110?
I'm going to be honest with you, maths is not my strong point.
Okay, it's time now for this.
It's a front page throwdown.
Oh, what a move.
The front page is first on the early sports breakfast.
talkSPORT.
Professional live radio, eh?
Yeah. What was the maths figure?
290 million take away 110 million.
180? No.
Yeah, lucky you're good looking.
Thanks.
Don't get me sacked for that. It's true, it's a compliment. You look amazing with your tan.
I'll take it.
What's in the front pages, please?
Do you know what? I left it at a pretty good time, because it turns out there is a Cornish town that has recorded their 50th straight day of rain.
Oh.
I mean, not even Noah had to deal with that. He only did 40 days of rain. But yeah, Cardenham in Cornwall has now reached their last dry day was on the 30th of December. And has then obviously we've had like various storms as well here. But yeah,
it's shocking.
That was the first thing I noticed when I came back. It was like, it is grey here.
Yeah, I mean, you've come from 33 degrees, and even when it rains, it pours, but then the sun comes out afterwards. I think I'm getting to that stage in life, and I'm like, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but everything's so expensive.
Yeah.
The weather's mince.
Yeah.
You're getting taxed out your arse.
Yeah.
You know, Celtic are. It's just a bad time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help when the weather's against you. It's not. Sound like an old woman now.
I think the only thing we can look forward to is now getting lighter for longer. Yes.
What is it, 3 minutes a day now?
Something like that,
Yes,
yeah.
Actually, I did notice it last night. I was walking home with the kids and
Yeah.
I thought, oh, it's a bit brighter.
Yeah. There we go. Looking at the small wins. Right. Do you like fry up?
Love a fry up.
Yeah. Well,
Love it.
Gen Z typically known for sort of putting their own spin on things. So
Ruining the world.
Ruining the world. Well, they're talking about their spin on the fry-ups and what they like to add to it. So apparently some Gen Zers are adding kimchi.
What's that?
It's like
Kimchi?
kimchi. It's like an Asian sort of side dish. So I can't remember what it tastes like, but it's, a little garnish that you have in Asian meals.
Okay.
So that's apparently one of the top things that they're adding. Chips, avocado, which I do tend to do, smoked salmon, halloumi, haggis, chorizo, pesto. Some of the things they want to add.
Oh, that's not.
But then in terms of sauces, obviously you've got ketchup and brown sauce as the top, and then barbecue, mayonnaise, chili sauce, and then the last 4 I have a problem with: salad cream, garlic mayo, curry, and maybe not so much, but hot honey.
No,
it's
not happening.
It's not happening.
No.
Would you have haggis though in yours? Because that's one of the additions.
Yeah,
to
maybe actually you could stick a wee bit of haggis. If you're up in Scotland, you probably do get haggis.
Yeah, probably.
In your fry up at times, it's normally black pudding, but a wee haggis on the side, I wouldn't be having a problem with. But honey on your fry up is a no go.
Hot honey, no pesto.
Sweet chili sauce is taking over the world.
That's in there as well.
People put
well
sweet
chili
chili
sauce
on everything.
Yeah.
No, they're ruining the fry. The beans are there because that's meant to be the flavour.
That's the sauce.
Soak up.
That's the sauce.
With a bit of ketchup or brown sauce for your potato.
Yeah, I can't have eggs, beans, and a sauce. I think they're saucy enough for me.
Do you ever have a tatty scone? Do you ever have a tatty scone on your fry?
No.
Do you know what a tatty scone is? Do you not?
I think I do.
Call it potato bread.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah.
You lot are boring.
Sorry.
You got up to Glasgow and it's like, I got a tatty scone. And a rolling square, please, driver. Amelia, thank you very much. You're listening to Early Breakfast here on talkSPORT. That was a look at Gen Z ruining the world continuously. I'm just joking. You're absolutely fine. Stay with us here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll build up to a brilliant weekend in the Premier League. Good morning to you.
Gabriel Jesus got frustrated at the end, pushed the player. Even our coaches, set piece coach, losing it a little bit because we know that right now it's on the line.
Yes.
And we need, normally I'm Mr. Calm, I'm Mr. Keep It Easy, batting here and there, but no, it's time.
Well, Mikel now, is this where, before kick-off 5 minutes, he locks the door. He says, don't you dare let yourselves down. Look around you. Player for player, we're different class to Tottenham. Do not blow it now. Get out there, concentrate, win your 50-50s and get our game going. Then we beat this mob. If the attitude is not 100%, you're in for a shock. Do not let me down and don't let your mate next to you down. He's got to do that. This is a big game.
If he doesn't do that, I'll be surprised. I'll be disappointed, heartbroken and shocked. We need the boys to galvanise together, man. This is the time. Because, honestly, I can't have this man on my right-hand side here, Gabby, at the end of the season, singing second again, ole, ole.
Say if you do finish second, what happens if the dog win? Does the dog...
Hello there, good morning. You're listening to the Early Breakfast Show here on talkSPORT, Friday the 20th of February. Here, this month is absolutely flying by. With you at 6 o'clock this morning, talkSPORT Breakfast, Alan Brazil. Friday feels alongside Ray Party Parlour. It's a huge weekend of Premier League football ahead. The race for the title is well and truly on, and of course the avoid to drop intensifies. Newcastle go to Manchester City on Saturday evening. In the game of the weekend, you can hear it live and exclusive here on talkSPORT. Geordie boss Eddie Howe will be feeling a little bit more confident after Wednesday's brilliant 6-1 thrashing against Qarabağ. What a performance that was. He spoke after the game about the challenge of taking his side to City.
Well, I think my hope is that it just reaffirms our belief that we can be an outstanding team. When we're at our very best, we can be a match for anybody. I've always maintained that this season that we can be. It's, of course, finding this level as much as we can, as consistently as we can. I think you could see the intense focus from the players was there from very early in the game, and then we've got the quality when we're in that kind of mood. I think it's a really useful time for us to produce a display like this to hopefully just tell ourselves that we can be a top team again.
Yeah, they needed that result. I was listening to Kevin Hatchard yesterday on Drive because Darren Bent had spoken about the idea of Qarabağ being able to beat Newcastle, which Goldstein thought was absolutely ridiculous. But actually, when you look at the job that Qarabağ are doing, it wouldn't have been a massive shock had they gone on to beat them. But Newcastle just put on such a brilliant display. Anthony Gordon was exceptional. So will it affect them? Will it lift that mood going to face City this weekend? Just a crazy stat. City have beaten Newcastle in the last 16 games at the Etihad. It's the second longest run in football history. Can it change this weekend? You'll find out live here on talkSPORT. Newcastle's trip to Manchester City is the evening kickoff on Saturday at 8 p.m. So obviously they need a win, but not as much as Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta, who needs to bounce back from their disappointment against Wolves on Wednesday night. I mean, the fallout from them dropping points has been absolutely crazy. Maybe one of the stories of the season. Arteta was asked if the North London derby is the perfect game to bounce back from.
The sooner we play, the better, and the bigger game, and the meaning of that game, I think, is the best way to prove. Because anything that we say now is not useful, is we have to do it on the pitch.
It's crazy, isn't it? 10 points from the last 21 available. Why is it at this time of the season we start to see that from Arsenal? I mean, they're still top of the league. They can absolutely still go and win it. You're mad to think that they can't. But in terms of what we've seen from the past, you wonder if they've got the mentality to go on and win it. That's been my one question mark. Everybody's been saying, Tony Cascarino, who I work with on a Saturday and Sunday on Weekend Breakfast, you know, there's no way that Arsenal will not win this title. But then you wonder if they're mentally at it, or do they choke? You know, can they handle the pressure? And it's tough to get up for games like, you know, Wolves, maybe they just weren't up for it. But you have to be up for every single game. Jason Cundy last night saying on the Sports Bar how it's not a title race. It's just two teams kind of going at it now. It's not like a going down at the end of the season. Somebody need a point to go top. He almost described it more like an egg and spoon race instead of a title race. And Arsenal have just dropped the egg. The egg hasn't smashed, but they have dropped the egg. That was the analogy from the great Jason Cundy last night on the Sports Bar, which was quite funny. I'm curious to see how this one will go. Obviously at Spurs, looking at them in the table, I mean, it's just been so poor, such a poor season for them. You're wondering if they can nick points against those at the top in order to get themselves back into complete safety, because at the moment it's looking a little bit shaky. Igor Tudor, this guy coming in at the club, what's he going to be able to do to turn it around so quickly? And if he does take points from Arsenal, well, then that will be absolutely incredible. All of the updates coming for you from that day on Game Day Live here on talkSPORT. 81089 is the number. You've been sending your text messages today. We're all talking about the best derbies in English football. As it's derby weekend, of course, Neil, the Newcastle fan, says Newcastle Sunderland is the best. To be fair, that one in the Premier League was an amazing atmosphere. Absolutely incredible. Good morning to Andy. He says Martin O'Neill knows how all of the other Scottish fans feel in terms of lack of money. I don't know why we're talking. I don't know how that matters. You know, we're talking about Europe, and yes, they have spent a fair bit in comparison to other teams in Scotland, but we can't expect them to compete in Europe when they've not spent nearly the amount as the opposition that they're facing. Just earlier on, we touched on it. Celtic squad last night was 110 million. In Stuttgart's, it's 290 million. So how are we expected to compete with that? Scottish football is very, very different, and you've got to take your hat off to Hearts and what they've been doing this season. Tony Bloom has invested. They spent a lot in the transfer window. Rangers climbing back up there. It's all a juicy one this weekend up in Scotland as well. It's good to have so much focus on it. Celtic take on Hibs on Sunday. Tomorrow, Hearts have Falkirk. Also on Sunday, Livingston take on Rangers. You wondered if it will be Hearts season, but I still have a feeling, and I'm going to think positive, that Celtic will win the league. Alan Brazil has arrived in the studio. He's not arrived in the studio. He's not here just yet. Okay. Hold your breath, everyone. Ray Parlour is here, though. talkSPORT Breakfast coming up in a few minutes' time. On yesterday's show, the boys were hammering Arsenal after their latest attempts to bottle the league. They spoke to broadcaster and huge Arsenal fan Piers Morgan, who, in typical Piers style, did not hold back.
I will concede. I mean, all my other statements are still technically true, but I will concede our chances of winning the Premier League by mid-March have slightly receded to 2-0. No, look, it's going to be a hell of a run-in. City are going to be breathing all over us. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Newcastle beat them on Saturday and we beat Tottenham on Sunday.
So Piers Morgan there, I absolutely loved his Twitter the other night when Wolves had put up their team, and he said, I think we're absolutely going to tear them apart. And then the amount of people who are just there on the social media feed, like, how did that work out for you, Piers? Huh? The amount of Arsenal fans who were just so convinced that they were going to ruin Wolves the other night. I love it when it backfires. Somebody was tweeting me the other day. I'd said that I still think Celtic will win the league, and they were like, after the Falkirk game the other night, at half time, we were 2-0 down. It was like, how do you think that's going to go now? Then we won 3-2, and I was like, ha! Get that round, yeah! Right, here's what's coming up for you on talkSPORT Breakfast today. Yes, Mr. Alan Brazil and Ray Parlour joining them here on the show. They've got 3-time Six Nations winner Danny Kerr to look ahead to. Internet sensation Steve Bracknell is going to be on the show. And Tottenham legend Mr. Gary Mabbutt, what a true gentleman he is to speak to. He's going to be joining the guys to build up to the North London Derby this weekend. Expect some housery along the way. Don't worry, we're here to wind you up at talkSPORT. Don't be offended, Arsenal fans. I'm looking at producer Henry through the glass, sitting smiling. Yeah, we know what it's all about. We just have to take it on the chin sometimes. And of course, we'll be getting Brazil's thoughts on Celtic last night after a truly awful display in Europe, being at Parkhead 4-1 by Stuttgart, and Kasper Schmeichel, under a hell of a lot of pressure, perhaps might be dropped for the game against Hibs this weekend, because it was a really, really poor show last night. And obviously we'll preview the rest of the weekend's action coming up here on talkSPORT. You've been listening to Early Breakfast with me, Shebahn. Alan and Ray are on the way next. Have yourself a great weekend.
Welcome to the Sports Bar on talkSPORT. Jamie O'Hara, him over there, Jason Cundy.
Has anyone seen